Welcome, friends, to Studebaker's home for adults with ADHD. And I'm not talking about that you get distracted easy type of ADHD. I'm talking about automotive, dismantling, and hoarding disorder. We here at Studebaker's home for adults with ADHD don't want you to run from your problems. We want you to embrace them. So come on down and park a project, then park another project. Cut a project in half and park it too. Then put a project on the patio. Oh man, it's hot. It's been a week of getting nothing done. Second week in a row. So if you didn't like last week's video, you're not gonna like this one. But stick around because you like me, right? Just playing. Yeah. We put in some more work on the orange 49 here. Chuck has had a rough life. Let's just put it like that. For the last 2 weeks, every time I've gotten some momentum going on this truck, I've gotten kicked back more steps than I put forward. We started this week out all over the place. No focus, no direction. I was just laying in bed one night and thought, you know, I could probably get that old station wagon running, but none of that matters. None of that's getting sorted out. So stick around and you guys will see why. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment. I really love getting comments on the videos. I respond to every single one of them. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome back to the backyard junkyard oasis. I'm sure my neighbors love it. This thing here is a 1960 Studebaker Lark station wagon. Pretty sweet car. I picked it up in Woodland, California for 200 bucks. It was just sinking away in a field. Mother Earth was reclaiming this one. So my son and I went out there and looked at it, and I thought, why the hell not? There are quite a few pissed off wasps flying around because I just took out their house. So hopefully they don't come after me, but if they do, I'll just open up a can of whoop ass. Now, initially, I came over to this car because I was just going to start robbing parts like plug wires for the orange truck over there. The wires and the plugs and everything on that are in terrible shape, and sometimes I get a little ahead of myself and I'm just like, all right, got to go to the parts store, got to buy new stuff. I've got perfectly good parts right here. I mean, these wires are in pretty good shape. I think one of them, the boot, is a little chewed up right there, but the wires themselves, I mean, the rubber on them still soft and pliable. They're not rock hard, so for what we're doing, those will work just fine. But then I started thinking, that's always how it starts. I bought this thing years ago, like 6 years ago, and it's just been sitting. And so I immediately jumped the gun and started tearing the head off of it. Half the head bolts are gone. These ones are all loose. They've been sitting loose for 6 years. The inner ones I think are still tight because when I started taking the valve train off, all the rockers and everything, I couldn't get this bolt out because it was hitting the firewall. So I just kind of stopped, and it's been sitting just like that for years. What if this engine frees up? If I can get a wrench on that big old bolt right there, maybe dump some oil down the spark plug holes that have been sitting open for 6 years. I still have all the hardware. We're missing a rocker arm. I think that's just in storage. I mean, what if we got it running? That gives us an overhead cam, inline 6, 12 volt, negative ground that I could probably put in that truck pretty easily. I don't know if the transmission bell housing pattern is the same. It might be. I'm like 99% certain that I didn't give an honest effort in trying to spin this thing over, because the crank bolt on this thing is 1.5 inches. So I definitely didn't have a wrench big enough. I still don't have a socket big enough, but I've got my big old crescent wrench here. Well, the bolt's just tightening. So moving the whole car. I'm gonna use my cheapo bore scope to look down in the cylinders here. Cylinder walls look very crunchy. I mean, is it worth it? Probably not. Do I still want to try it? Yeah. I brought a whole bunch of PB Blaster. Gotta buy this stuff by the case. So let's just fog it down. I did bring some ATF and a funnel, so maybe we'll fill up the cylinders with a concoction. A little bit of PB Blaster, a little bit of ATF. I guess it's just called Blaster. I've always called it PB Blaster. I don't know why. I don't know where I got that from. And we'll just let this soak for a bit, and then maybe while this is soaking, I can go grab the box of parts. Maybe start tightening down the head bolts and everything that will definitely hold compression if this thing does run. No, they won't. Got lots of cool stuff in here. Probably a lot of stuff I don't need, but you know. Small block Ford 260. This is the early small block Ford that has a different bell housing pattern, Gen 4 5.3. And I've got Cadillac parts and small block Chevy parts and all kinds of good stuff. This is all the parts that I took off the Lark. Not that. Got the... Did that come off the Lark? Or is that off the Cadillac? No. This is off the small block Chevy, I think. Watch out for the gear oil. Having a camper shell is pretty cool, but also makes cleaning out the bed of your truck kind of a pain in the butt. Let's just enjoy the shade for a minute. This truck doesn't have air conditioning. I need to fix that. One thing at a time. Although this is my daily driver, so this should probably be a little bit higher on the priority list. The box that we grabbed from storage didn't have all of the parts in it that I thought I still had. Yeah. I still got stuff back here. There's that rocker I was looking for. Hopefully, all the hardware we need is back here. I was getting a little excited and a little ahead of myself. I started putting stuff back on without having the camera on. It's a bad habit. This is the little front retainer, and this is the rocker. And I couldn't remember why this wasn't lining up, and it's because these little shims go in here. And one of these shims has like a little wrinkle in it, and I don't know if that needs to like key on to something. This is all pretty flat, so I don't think so. There's no like recesses or divots or anything, and this thing only goes on one way. Rocker arm obviously only goes on one way, so I'm just gonna start sliding stuff back in here and dropping bolts and stuff where I think they go. The whole reason why I came out here and took the hood off this thing in the first place was for the throttle linkage, because the pedal comes through the floor here, and this throttle linkage, this bar, goes all the way across behind the engine. It comes over here to this side. That's basically what we need for the orange truck over there now that I got the new carburetor on there. We're losing daylight. None of this stuff is torqued, but it's tight enough for what we're gonna do. Honestly, these little bolts, I don't even think I needed to put them in, but I had them, so just for giggles, put them in. Let's see if I can do this without blowing my back out. Not likely. Oh, geez. God dang. Put a cheater pipe on there. It's either gonna spin or it's gonna snap. There, Tank. What are you doing? Coming to help? Went and picked up a socket. We're gonna try turning on that crank bolt down there. I filled the cylinders with a lot more ATF last night, so we'll see how it goes. Probably gonna need to put a cheater bar on this breaker bar. Oh yeah, she don't want to move. I think the crank bolt's just twisting right now. Holy cow. It ain't gonna go. That sucks. Well, there's nothing quite like starting your day off with a nice tall glass of defeat. Oh well. I kind of figured that was gonna happen. That car's been parked for, I don't know, since like 87. See when it was last tagged. 82. Probably hasn't ran since then. There's probably a reason for that. So that's all right. Kind of disappointed, but not really. These plug wires look like they're in good shape. A couple of them are a little chewed up on the boot, but certainly better than what we got on the orange truck. Let's see if I can figure out how this gas pedal is, not attached to anything. Well, that's nice. Gas pedal, never heard of her. If we just undo that plate right there and that one over there, and hopefully there's nothing holding this thing behind the engine block, should be able to just take all this off. All right, well, that took a little bit, but I got it. This is actually a little too long. Because our gas pedal's like here. That's all right. We'll get something figured out. I didn't think that station wagon would be that much wider than this thing. Go ahead and get our new-ish spark plug wires put on the orange truck here. This is the coil wire that came off the Lark, and it's a little rusty on the end. I can clean it up if I need to, but I've got another one right here that I think came off my Cadillac, so maybe we'll just use that one. Yeah, just out here getting whooped by this truck. I threw the 6-volt battery back in after sitting on the battery charger and topping her up, and I started trying to put the gauges back in, looking over the one picture that I took on my phone before I took it out, and trying to go through the manual, the little service book that I have, just trying to figure out where all these wires are supposed to go. This truck obviously has been rewired before, and you know, just out here with the multimeter and checking continuity and everything. But I was getting sick and tired of the damn foot switch, starter switch under the clutch pedal. It made it really hard trying to tune the carburetor, you know, pushing the clutch pedal, running back out here before the truck dies, trying to adjust the fuel, truck dies, got to go back in, push the button. Anyways, it was a pain in the ass. So I just went ahead and picked up this 6-volt starter solenoid. So instead of the foot switch, now we've got a solenoid, which gives us this little post up front here, and I can hook up the oh man, what do you call these things? These little starter buttons, loser switches, whatever you call them. You just put one lead down here on the solenoid on the little post, and one to the negative side of the battery, and then I can just do this. Crank the engine over, and this switch reaches over there to that side of the truck to where I can mess with the carb and crank the engine at the same time. Also, with getting rid of the push button foot switch, I just went to O'Reilly's and just bought a regular button and hooked that up to the solenoid, which makes things way easier, because that foot switch thing was tough to push. I'm kind of a sissy, I guess. I don't know. Also, I just posted a YouTube short. Let me know what you guys think about the color of this truck. Obviously it's, you know, super oxidized, but I did put a little bit of polish on this fender, and I mean, it's just orange, just shiny orange now, semi-shiny. But I was sanding down on the fender and got down to the original color right here. Did a little bit of polishing on the inside of the door. And I like that blue a whole lot better than the orange, but it's really easy, as you can see right here, to burn through all the way down to the bare metal. But sanding this whole thing down, I think it would make it look better, but it would be very tedious and time consuming trying not to burn through the original paint as much as possible. I don't mind patina. I like patina. I wouldn't mind a little bit of, you know, little scuffs and scratches of orange here and there. This is a little bit too much, but just a little bit. Anyhow, you guys let me know in the comments. And I'm done for the day, because as I was out here cranking on this thing, we lost our fuel pump. There's no more fuel coming up to the carburetor. This line, I mean, it should be pretty well pressurized just from cranking on it on camera just now. We got no gas. We ain't got no gas in it. Okay, well, let's see if we can get something done today. Probably not. I'm trying to build this thing on a shoestring budget, and I don't even have a shoestring left. I'm gonna go over to O'Reilly's for the 16th time this week, and it's only Wednesday, and see if they have something that'll work. I already checked the website. I know they don't have that exact one in stock, It's going to be a special order kind of deal, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to have to order it from Rock Auto because it's a lot cheaper on Rock Auto. Rock Auto is great, but they take a long time to ship sometimes. So that's not got us completely dead in the water, but it does put a damper on things. So I'm going to go ahead and get that fuel pump off quick. Get our little fuel separator deal off of here. The gasket on here was all cracked up. If you guys saw the old episode from last year, the gasket was all cracked up, and I just kind of soaked it down with, I think, like WD-40 or something, and it kind of made it swell up a little bit to where it was actually halfway sealing. This is, you can see that's pretty dirty. A lot of that's on the outside, but it's pretty dirty down in there. So we're just gonna dispose of that responsibly. This place is an absolute mess. It's driving me kind of crazy, but I also, you know, don't want to be dragging the tools back and forth in and out of the garage. I was pretty hopeful that I was going to be able to snag the fuel pump off the Lark back there, because, you know, Studebaker as a company was pretty frugal with their money, and a lot of parts for cars and trucks are the same, or similar enough. And yeah, so this is an old fuel pump off of that car, and it sits in there just like this, so you can see how long this arm is. Basically, for a fuel pump, as long as this arm's the same and this bolt pattern's the same, you can pretty much use it. But this is the one off the truck. You can see how short the arm is. This one here, it's pointed the opposite way. It's super long, so obviously we can't rob the one off the car. We got to go spend some money and find a fuel pump that's the same as this one. Well, I ran over to O'Reilly's and I ended up just ordering a new gasket for the glass fuel separator bowl. Before I went over there, this thing was just held in place with 6 screws, so I decided to take it apart and look at it, and I don't really know what I'm looking at. But this rubber gasket that's around here looks like it's in good shape. The diaphragm, I mean, it's not broken, it's still held in place, it's got spring to it. And then there's the little like check valves that are down inside here. Nothing's broken, nothing's obviously deteriorating, so I'm just gonna slap this thing back together. So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this back on the truck and just pretend like it's gonna work. And if it doesn't work, I've got this monster fuel tank right here out of the Colorado chassis that truck's sitting on, and it has an electric fuel pump in it. Probably puts out way too much pressure for that little Weber carburetor that we have, but I'm not above running that thing off of a drill battery and just seeing if the needle and seat in the carburetor will hold back all that pressure. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, maybe we won't even have to do it, but I'll do it. All right, perfect timing. The gasket showed up right as I was putting this back together and broke that old one. This one is cork, the old one's rubber. I'm not sure what's better and what's not, but this is new and that one's broken, and so that's what determines that. Hopefully that was our problem, because yesterday and today I came out here messing with this thing and I couldn't tell. It looked to me like the fuel pump wasn't working at all. Could have been a mixture of the low fuel level in the gas jug and then that little rubber gasket breaking apart. So we will see. Now we got our pickup tube down in the fuel, and because I spent some time yesterday wiring in that solenoid that I showed you guys, I can use my switch here, and now I can stand on this side, crank on the engine, and work the carburetor at the same time. Oh yeah, it's working. It might help if we turn the coil on. Hell, I don't know. Dead spot in the carburetor. Glad I didn't spend any money on a fuel pump, because it was just that gasket on the bowl that was fighting us, just sucking in air from around that old, crappy, broken up gasket. All right, had to go inside to get a new battery for you guys. I've got it idled down as far as it'll go. It still has that flat spot in the carburetor where you open it up and then it takes a second to rev up. There's no tachometer on this thing, so I'm just doing it by ear. And right now it sounds right around that 600, 700 RPM range to me. But I don't know if the camera's gonna pick this up, but there's a little bit of what sounds like lifter noise to me, a little bit of tapping. And inside here, our oil pressure has dropped significantly. Because of course it has. Damn. Man, I really tried hard to get this thing back on the road for as little money as possible, but it's looking like that's not going to happen. And what really sucks is I did spend a decent amount of money on a disc brake conversion before I ever bothered to try and tune this engine in. But that's just the way I do things, you know? I got it running last year, but I never really ran it longer than just basically letting it warm up and then shutting it off. And the oil pressure never dropped last year. It never gave me any signs of like, hey, this engine's cooked. I'll give it a minute and let it cool down. We'll check the oil level. I mean, man, there's a little bit of smoke coming out from the breather, and I mean, with this generator as caked up as it is, you can tell that's been happening for a long time. But this cap, it's designed to breathe. This is the old school, I mean, this is crankcase ventilation right here. There's a little filter element that's actually inside that cap. It's designed to breathe through there, but visually seeing, you know, smoke coming out of there, it's probably a bad thing. Oh well, that's life, part of it. I got to make some pretty interesting videos, and that's not it for this truck, not by a long shot, but for the chassis and for the Flathead 6 engine, I think I'm gonna call it. Time of death, August 13th, 2025, 2:39 p.m. Let's bow our heads in a moment of silence for the Flathead 6. I guess that just means we're on to bigger and better things. I did post a YouTube short and asked the people what they wanted to see for the paint, and I'm gonna wait to collect the total comments on that. But the two people that did comment said to keep it, or said to bring it back to blue. So that's probably what we're gonna do. Now the next question is, you guys need to let me know, do I even bother with the original chassis? Do I put any more money into the platform? A platform that I can't get parts for, a platform that has been field repaired. I mean, I'm sure I know there's a big enough Studebaker community where I could probably sell this disc brake kit and at least get most of my money back for. I'm not worried about that. The Weber carburetor, I've got plenty of vehicles that I can put that on. That's just a good thing to keep on a shelf and just keep it on standby for the next one. I'm not worried about the money that I put in so far, but you guys need to let me know. What do I do with the chassis? There's a couple S10s right up the road for like 500 bucks. Rollers, no titles, got to scrap the body, but then you got modern stuff underneath. Kind of like what I'm trying to do with the rat rod. That thing is on a 2006 Canyon, Colorado frame. All modern running gear underneath. I can go to the parts store and say, hey, I need a wheel bearing, a ball joint, brakes, something, and they'll have it on the shelf. This thing, the guys at O'Reilly's are getting tired of me coming in saying, hey, I need parts for my 75-year-old truck. They don't have them. The brand doesn't exist anymore. They're not stocking parts. Everything's special order. The oil pressure issue is not one that I'm gonna address, because that requires removing the engine, completely stripping it apart, and doing a full rebuild on it. And for me, it's just not worth it. So that sucks. That puts an abrupt end to this little build series for now. I do have engines waiting in the wings that I've mentioned before. You guys already know. But the real question is, do I stick with the chassis? So you guys let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out, and I will see you guys next time. Do it again. Good job. That's all I wanted. Just wanted to hear it run.